Hey friends, this is Karen from Blue Rooster Farm, and today I'm in my sewing room and we are getting ready to open up our Fat Quarter Shop Sew Sampler box. So if you want to see what's in it, stick around. Thanks for sticking around, friends. Well, this is the August subscription box, and if you're not familiar with Sew Sampler, it is a subscription box from Fat Quarter Shop, and it retail values for $29.95. It's $4.95 shipping, and then my area has $2.35 tax, so I pay $37.25 for this box, and it's usually packed with a lot more value than that. So this is the August box, and I saw on the Fat Quarter Shop blog the monthly clue or for the Sew Sampler, and I think I have an idea of the fabric line that is enclosed in this box. So they said something about folklore or something like that in the clue. And my guess is that it is a fancy house design fabric that is folk and lore. I believe that's what it is. It's not folklore. I think it's folk and lore. And it's a really neat looking fabric if that's what we have. And it's one of my favorite fabric designers right now. I don't know if you remember in my prior video, I was showing you some of different fabrics and stuff that I was using, and I've got several projects right now that I'm using Fancy That Design fabric, and I really like her stuff. So let's open it and see if I'm right. I could be completely wrong. So let's see if we can open this without cutting myself. All right. Okay, here's the clue. Here's what they gave us. Fables of Fall. Okay. August 2024. And the promotion code, and this is just for subscribers, is 20% off layer cakes. And then they also include one of the free patterns that Kim Jolly puts on her site. They always have lots of free projects. They have recolored that design, the free project, using the fabric in this quilt and show you what it looks like. And so if you wanted to use this fabric for this other design, and that one is called Layer Cake Lolly Shortcut Quilt Pattern. So this is a crib size right here, and it just shows you what it would look like in this fabric. So that's nice to have that option. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. Let's start with this. We have an Olfa 28 millimeter rotary cutter. And those are really nice when you're using templates that have smaller areas and some curves or some angles. That is really nice. So let's get our little card out here and see what it says about it. It says, for small or complex pieces, change up your rotary cutter to this 28 millimeter quick change rotary cutter by Olfa. Olfa sets the standard for quality cutting tools. The 28mm size is perfect for small scale projects, miniatures, and tight corners. Try it with the clammy ruler in this box for a smooth sewing experience. So apparently we're getting a ruler or a template, the clammy ruler, and we're going to be able to use this cutter for it. The value of this is $15.98. That's a good value. That's a lot of money. All right, so let's go ahead and get that clammy ruler out. And I don't know if you know, but templates can be quite pricey too. So this is the clammy 6-inch. And let's see who it's made by. Latifa Safar Studios. And there's what it looks like, and there's some markings. I'm going to open it up for us. Let's see if I can do that without tearing it up. I think I've seen several things made with this, and they're really cute. And it says you can make 5 shapes. You can make half circles, clam. You could do full circles with this, quarter circles, and an orange peel. Ah. So there's lots of different markings on it. Okay. In the little pamphlet, it says, don't clam up when it comes to curved piecing. For foolproof curves, the clammy 6-inch ruler is an innovative multifunction template by Latifa Safar that can be used to cut clamshell circles, half circles, quarter circles, and even orange peel shapes. It includes markings right on the template for easy transfer to your shapes. Visit Quiltish FQS to learn more and see demos by Latifa about the clammy. The value of this is $18.98. Like I said, templates and rulers are quite pricey, so that's a big chunk of money there. All right, let's see the next thing. We have a Sewline pin, and I'm going to read to see what is different about it. Oh, it looks like it's got white. I think that's what it is. White lead. A white butterfly mechanical pencil by Sewline. Once you've used the butterfly mechanical fabric pencil by Sewline, you'll be lining up for more. The Sewline specially formulated ceramic lead gives a clean, fine line on fabrics, and this white lead is a must-have for marking dark fabrics. Markings are easily removed from most fabrics with the attached eraser or by dabbing with a damp cloth, so pencil in some time to give it a try. Value is $6.98. Well, this is handy. I do use like a little chalk pencil, but that doesn't give a real clear line. Let's see if I can get a piece of fabric here. Here's a red piece here. And I'm just going to draw on it. So I did a couple times across here and a single line there. And let's see if it erases. Find a hard surface here. Yep. The one right next to it is gone. Very neat. Well, I can use that. I can definitely use that. All right. Now for the fabric. Let's see if I'm right. Open it up. I think I am. Folk and Lore by Fancy That Design House. She is a moda designer. And And we have 5-inch, or not, I'm sorry, we have 10-inch pre-cuts that we call those layer cakes. And I'm guessing it's got 20 in it. Let's see what it says. There it is. Create a captivating tale with the Folk and Lore fabric collection by Fancy That Design House for Moda Fabrics. This fabric line evokes storybook whimsy and charm with deep burgundies, rusts, and blues, like an enchanted meadow in autumn. This 24-piece junior layer cake captures the rich hues and fleeting florals of this line to cherish for all the seasons to come. So we get 24 10-inch squares, so it's more than a half of a layer cake. Value of this is $25.48. And it is a really pretty fabric. I think a lot of hers are kind of late summer, fall fabrics. They just have the dark, rich colors. And I'm going to put on the screen a picture of the fabric line so that you can see more detail as to what this fabric looks like. Looks like there's a lot of florals and leaves. I love the colors. This would be pretty for like an acorn quilt, wouldn't it? This has birds and bunnies. More birds and bunnies. It's pretty. And that coordinates quite well with her other fabrics. This one has the burgundy, and there's some burgundy in this one here. So you could use her other lines to coordinate with it. Let's see where it was, right here. And I've got my other fabric. Let's see. Don't have the gold right here, but there is a gold in the line that I'm working with too. Ooh, that's pretty. I like that blue. I think that's probably one of my favorite colors right there, that blue. Looks like nuts maybe and some leaves. Same pattern, different color. Isn't that pretty and rich? It kind of goes along with porch swing too. Even though that's not her line, it's kind of got those rich colors. So, and the main print is right here. Big floral. And that was the main floral of the other one that I'm using. So you can see very, very similar in color, and you can mix and match a lot of her fabrics. Very pretty. Let's see what quilt design they have. Remember, I think we're going to be using our clamshell template here. And we are. Oh, that's pretty. Verbena quilt pattern. So it looks like we have some stars with that little flower using those that clam template for the petals. And here's the back of it. Isn't that pretty? Let's see, this quilt makes a 78.5 by 78.5. So it's a good size. You do need 2 1/8 yard of that accent fabric, which in this one, it's the blue. Okay. Let's see what it looks like as far as how easy it is. The layout is a really easy layout. I think the only complicated block, and it might not even be complicated, but I haven't made, is that clamshell one. Oh, and it would be very similar to doing it, from the looks of this, very similar as doing any curved piecing. It's just that you have to get your lines marked, your marks lined up, and then just go through the sewing machine kind of slowly. So I don't think this one's hard at all. This will be a real fun one. I'm excited about that one. Okay. And the last thing is their yearly quilt along, and this is block 5. Let me see. And there is the block. Very pretty. Cat's cradle basket block. So that's a cat's cradle inside that basket. Doesn't look hard to do. And I haven't been doing the quilt along a lot of times. I've done one of the quilt alongs, the one by Corey Yoder, several years ago. But just with being so busy, I can't keep up with it. And I've got other projects too. But I also like to see what it looks like in the end and then decide if I would like to make it. And this one is maybe one that I will like to make, because I do want to make a basket quilt sometime soon. So we'll see. This pattern, the Verbena quilt pattern, is an exclusive. You can only get this if you have the Sew Sampler box. If you want to make the Peaceful Basket block, or the Peaceful Baskets blocks, then I don't want to. If you want to make these, then you can purchase these patterns. I don't know if you can purchase them one by one as the months go, or at the end after it's all finished as a set. I'm kind of thinking as a set, but I don't know. I've not looked into it, but you can check that out. So I think we've got a really good value here. We have our 24 10-inch squares. We have our Olfa small rotary cutter. We have our clamshell template. We have our Sewline white marking pencil. We have our quilt pattern. We have our quilt along Peaceful Baskets pattern. And the value of this, let me give you an estimate here. The value of this was given as $9.98, and the value of our quilt along pattern is $4.98. So close to $80 value if I'm adding it correctly. I'll put the right amount somewhere on the screen right here. But for total cost of $37.25 and $80 value, that's a good deal. It's more than double what you're paying. So let me know in the comments what you think about this this month's box. I like it. I especially like the fabric, and I really am excited about that. So this is the Fat Quarter Sew Sampler August month box. If you stick around, I'm going to show you some of the things that I have going on, and let you see some progress that I'm making on different quilts. So just stick around. Thanks for sticking around. So the first thing I'm going to show you is something that I've been wanting to get done, and I still have a few other things to go with this set of bedding that I'm making. I made a quilt grab my information here. It was a free pattern from Missouri Star called Wanderlust, and it used 2.5-inch strips, but I ended up reconfiguring it and using 10-inch squares. And I also bought extra since I made it larger to fit a queen size bed. But it is a quilt that I made for our bed, and I'm going to put a picture of it right here. And that is what it looks like. And I wanted to finish those pillows that you see right there and get those on. And I also want to make some bigger ones to put behind it in more of a single print to kind of stand out in the back. So I did get those pillows that you see there in the picture, and here they are right here. And I used a free pattern from Fat Quarter Shop that ended up just being perfect for a pillow, and it just fits in there so nice. And then I just, edged it with another white piece around the outside, but it worked perfect. I just used scraps that I had left over from the quilt that I made, and I forgot the name of this pattern, but I'll put it up here somewhere. But they made a quilt using this block, and they used, I think, all the different fabric lines that she was using one year in that quilt. And I thought this is a perfect shape for this bed, and it kind of goes along with those sharp corners and things. I just made a envelope type back. This is kind of a canvasy material to be a little heavier. This is quilted. I don't know if you can see the quilting on it or not. There you go. Did a quilting on that so that they're kind of matching with the quilt, and I did just a little different for each one, but the same colors except for that middle star. The middle star on one is blue, and the middle star on the other is the burgundy. But then I used the same colors but some different fabrics for the other parts of the pillow. And then I just bound it with fabric from the collection, and there you have a pillow. I was debating on whether just turning it in and not having binding or putting the binding, but I like it with the binding, so I ended up doing that. So that was one project that I was really glad to get checked off my list, because I've been wanting to get that done for a while. Then, as you saw earlier in the video, I've been working on my leaves quilt, and here is a finished strip. And I'm just starting to piece it all together. And I'm going to put a picture right here. This picture shows the quilt without the sashing strips in between the blocks. I just was laying it out for placement. I will then put the sashing strips, and then there'll be a border, probably just the same as the background, just to finish, to give it a little more space. I am using a pattern from Material Girl Quilts. She has a YouTube video on how to make this quilt. I ended up making enough of the leaves to do this, and I liked the layout of it, so it worked perfectly. She has a video, and I'll put the link in the description box. The quilt measures 69 by 83, and like I said last time, my blocks are 12.5-inch unfinished. Grab one here. I've got them all set up where I'm sewing them together right here at my sewing machine. So, and again, this fabric was fabric from Fancy That Design, and it is Slow Stroll. It's been around for a couple years. So I think that'll look really good on the couch this fall. I haven't decided whether to do a flannel backing or a minky, but I'll do one or the other. I'll have to see what I have on hand. But I will put a link to this video so that if you're interested in it, you can make it too. I'll put a picture of her quilt right here so you can see what she did, what fabric she used, and what it looked like finished. So that is the project I am currently working on, trying to get that all pieced together so I can get it on my quilting frame and get that done before fall gets here. It seems like I'm always trying to get something done right before the season. I need to do this a little earlier. And then another quilt that I wanted to do something that I could just get done in a day or two. And so I was looking through my free patterns from my Sew Sampler box, and I found this Buzz pattern, and it's a Lori Holt design. I don't know if she designed the quilt pattern or if she just designed, it was her fabrics used. Let me see if it says. It does not say. But anyway, they originally used B plaids 5-inch stackers, and they used the 5-inch stackers. And this time in the late summer, I was kind of wanting something to put on my dining room table, but not be too summery and not be Halloween-y or anything like that. And so I had some fabric that was from Lisa Bonjean's Primitive Gatherings of Moda, and it was rustic gatherings. And so I used that fabric, and I made a table topper using that fabric. And I thought it turned out real well, and it can go all the way through fall, but especially right now, the bees are still working really hard to get all of their honey stored up for the winter. So I thought this would be pretty for right now. I just need to get it on the quilting frame and get it quilted real quick. It won't take but a couple hours to get done, and then I'll have that laid out for now. I still have my summer decorations up, and I want to get everything down so that I can get my fall decorations up. In my late summer, I've got sunflower stuff and bee stuff, and I want to get those things up. And then there's a few things that I have that are pumpkins. I think this one right here, this one is a little table topper. And I believe this was from Primrose Designs. They have free patterns if you get their email, and I think this was one that she gave out one time. And I made that one last year, and I thought that was really cute, kind of a cheery fall one. So getting those done. And so those are the works that I have in progress or am finishing up, and I'm just thinking what else. I've also, last time I shared with you my heart patriotic quilt, and I got that off the quilt frame, but I haven't had a chance to bind it. And I'm going to machine bind it, so it's not going to take long. It's just I've kind of lost the oomph for it because I'm not going to be hanging it up since it's a summer quilt. But I will try to get this done before I put it away. Let's see, do I have this going the right direction? No. And I really need to step farther away, but I don't have enough space here. This was just star. And then it had the blue triangles for the border. And then I used a pantograph that was kind of like flag stripes blowing. And let me see if I can get a good shot of one here. And stars, nothing fancy. Again, I have to do it by hand. I do not have it computerized. So it's not perfect, but I like it. So, and I used it's Bunny Hill, and it was Prairie Farm or something. But I will try to put it on here so that you'll know if you're interested in making it. But it's a fabric that was out several years ago. So that is what I have been working on, along with all the canning and the garden stuff. So I've been very, very busy. So I hope you are getting stuff done in your quilting room and your sewing room. I'm anxious for the summer garden to slow down and get everything finished there, preserving, and so I can get more time in my sewing room and get some things that I want to get done finished and start working on some Christmas gifts. Now, I am going to have a video out. If you have seen my jar bonnets, I am going to have a little video showing how you make these little jar bonnets, one for a wide mouth and one for a, it's a wide mouth one there, one for a small mouth jar, and they can fit other things too. And once you know how to make these, you can make them for bowls or anything like that. Other size jars, you just learn the basic way of doing it, and then just choose a circle size that meets your needs. So I hope you watch that video when I put that one out. Well, I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that. And don't forget to share and like if you like this video. And if you have any questions, please comment. That helps me too. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.